öncelikle sizi bundan galiba birkaç yıl önce internette bir videonuzla, Enter Sandman videonuzla izledim ve gerçekten çok etkilendim, çok şaşırmıştım. Ondan sonra yaklaşık kısa bir süre önce bana bir mail geldi. Ya bu mailde sizin bir konser videonuzu gönderdiler bana ve hocam lütfen bu videoyu inceler misin, bu videoya analiz yapar mısın diye istediler. Ve açıkçası inanamadım. Siz inanılmaz güzel bir sahne performansı, muhteşem bir şov ve gerçekten aklımı kaçırdım diyebilirim. Yani inanılmaz. Gitar çalıp şarkı söylüyorsun, bas çalıp şarkı söylüyorsun, davul çalıp şarkı söylüyorsunuz. Delirdiniz mi kızlar? Ben şimdi ilk merak ettiğim size sormak istiyorum. İlk merak ettiğim şeyi. Nasıl bu işe başladınız?
Okay, we started with music since we were very, very little. Our parents are rock and roll lovers.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yes.
Yeah, we were always in this very musical environment. We were always listening to music. Always, our family activities always had something to do with music, right?
Yes.
And we started
But
playing.
they are not musicians.
Oh yeah, my parents are not.
Oh my god.
Love music.
Yes.
Started playing the piano, classical music, when we were very young.
Mhm.
And then later on, we bought the game Rock Band,
The video game.
Yeah. And we fell in love with that idea of playing that type of music, like rock and roll.
Yeah.
And Danny always picked up the guitar, I always picked up the drums. Ale was like 3 years old. So, yeah, she was very young. But that was like a huge inspiration for us.
Yes, like
And
we
then-
wanted to do what we saw on the
Spongebob,
video game.
Yeah.
So that's really how
Very
we started.
nice.
At first, we only played individually,
Yeah.
and when Ale picked up the bass, we said like, okay, let's play a song together, and that's when we realized like, who's gonna sing?
Yeah.
You know, play the instruments, so who's
Yeah.
gonna sing? So, you know, it's most common for the guitar player to
sing,
do
yeah.
it. So I started, you know, practicing.
Yeah.
It was very hard for me to like concentrate
Get
on the
used to it.
guitar and then sing to.
Yeah, especially
Yes.
like you were little. How old
I
were
was,
you? You were
I was
like,
like 10.
no,
you
were like
Yeah.
13, 12, 13
Yeah.
ish. The first time that we started.
Oh
playing.
yes, yes. No, I was 12.
Yeah, she was 12. So she was
Yes.
just kind of getting used to that. And then we started playing together.
Yeah.
We did first of our favorite bands. And
Like
so-
the Enter Sandman video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we covered Enter Sandman by Metallica. And we uploaded the video to YouTube, not really expecting anything to come out of it. We just uploaded it to YouTube so our family members could see it without coming to our house. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just for everybody. But then it suddenly started gaining a bit more views, and then more views, and then
Yeah.
more people started posting on other social media.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
suddenly
yeah.
millions of views, and we're like, whoa, like really expect that. It was just something
it was
very
great.
sudden.
And then Paula also started learning how to sing while playing the drums
drums.
because we figured like we could all sing.
Sing, yeah.
Because there wasn't like a member of the band who's like you're gonna
Yeah.
sing forever.
Yeah, exactly. So
We
I
do
started
share that.
practicing to sing in the drums, and then then we just started writing our own music after that, and
Yes.
then now we're here. Yeah.
İnanılmaz bir sahne enerjiniz var. Aynı enerjiyi burada konuşurken de yapıyorsunuz. İnanılmaz bir enerjiniz var gerçekten ve müthiş bir etkileyicilik bu.
We have the same emotions, like.
Yeah, we have really good chemistry. I mean, we're sisters.
Yeah.
We've lived our whole lives together.
Yeah.
So when we're playing, you kind of have like that. You have like
Connection.
telepathic connection. It's very fun.
And we love the energy on stage, so we are naturally very like. At first we started like we didn't move.
Yeah, like in the
Uh,
Enter Sandman video, I
Ah.
like at all. I'm just like
Yeah.
stiff, like
It's
playing
something
my
that
bass.
we practice to
Yeah.
better our
It's something that
stage
we've been
performance.
working on for years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can say that we have better live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they do say that we are very expressive and
Yes.
general. Yeah.
Yes, müthiş. Ben yani size ne soracağımı şaşırmış durumdayım biliyor musunuz? O kadar güzel anlatıyorsunuz ki her şeyi.
We've
Yeah.
also worked on that.
Yeah, we talk a lot actually. Sometimes they don't get us to shut up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Harika. Şimdi gruplarda en zor olan şey bir arada olan kişilerin, yani grup üyelerinin işte bir süre sonra uyumsuzluğudur. Fakat siz 3 kız kardeşsiniz. Bunun avantajı ve dezavantajı nelerdir?
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally think that there are way more advantages than disadvantages.
Yeah.
Because you've lived with them your whole life, so you have a really good connection and you have really good communication
Yeah, and you
skills
know
with
them,
them.
yeah.
You know them very well.
Yeah,
we know each other.
Also, a very cool thing is that for practices and that type of rehearsals, it's not hard at all to
'Cause
get
we live
together
together,
and practice.
you know.
We live in the same house,
So
so it's very easy.
Hey,
Hey, we
like,
need to go
oh, I
practice.
can't at this hour, and like I have a dentist appointment. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
there's no like schedule kind of
Yeah.
problems, right? The disadvantages, there are very few disadvantages in my point of view because it's also very fun because with your family.
yeah.
So it's a very comfortable environment that
Yeah.
you're always in.
And also we can be very honest with each
Yeah,
other.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
we're not kind of like being careful to hurt the other person because
Well,
we
we
don't
are,
know.
but
I mean,
not
yes,
to a but we
certain- I mean,
already
yes,
know.
but we already
what we
know
can't
like
say.
what. Yeah, so it could be like very.
We
can
don't
be very
take
honest
things
with each other.
personally.
Yes.
Yeah, because we know
Yes.
that it's
Yeah.
not like we're not saying anything to offend each other, and especially when we're writing.
Yeah.
We are three very opinionated ladies, right? So when we're writing, we have very different opinions.
Yeah.
So it can also be a disadvantage that we sometimes like fight when we're writing,
Yeah.
but we usually like make
Yeah,
it really
and
quickly.
we
'cause
get along-
live in the same.
And we get along like really well. Like
Yes.
we actually
have a
we're
really
best
good
friends.
relationship. So it's I
Wow.
think there are more advantages. Yeah.
Şimdi izlediğimiz sizin kayıtlarınızı yaptığınız bir stüdyonuz var. Bu stüdyo evinizin içinde mi yoksa dışarıda mı kiralıyorsunuz?
to record.
It's in our house.
Yeah.
It's in the house.
That's very cool. I know.
Ooh.
You know,
Oh.
it didn't start like that.
Yeah.
It was just a basement room. We basically moved house and we needed a place to put our drum set in.
Yeah.
And it was in the, how do you say, sala? It
The
was
living
in the
room.
living room.
Living room.
And it was just way too much sound. Like our neighbors
All the neighbors,
hated us. It was just horrible. So we needed a place to put the drum set in. And we had this basement and we didn't really have that like much stuff here.
Yeah.
So let's just put it in that room and you can go practice there. And I was like, perfect.
And as we started the band, it started just like growing and growing until it became like this
The
little
practice
studio.
room, yeah, our little studio, and it's very cool that we have this in our home because it's like, oh, we wanna do a little demo for, let's see, like when we do the next album, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
we have the studio here. We can just come
Yeah.
downstairs, just
And record.
work on it. Yeah, it's very fun.
Very cool.
Süper. Peki şimdi dediniz ki enstrüman çalmayla başladınız ve işte şarkı söylemeye başladınız. Bunlar ilk başladığınız zamanlarda. Peki nasıl eğitimler aldınız? Birinden eğitim aldınız mı? Kendiniz mi geliştirdiniz bunu?
Yes, we did take vocal lessons. I mean, we didn't start singing after the instruments, but we started singing more like professionally after the instruments. But
It was
we
like
were
a
like in the
consequence.
choir.
Yeah, we were like
We
a
were.
school choir.
Yes, I mean,
But for instruments, we have always taken lessons.
Yeah.
Like Danny took drum lessons, I took drum lessons, Ale took bass
but
lessons.
we did take vocal lessons for a lot of years, and some of them were good, some of them were bad.
Not
Like
that good.
we actually had to fight through a lot of bad habits that we had.
Yeah.
And that were
And we
taught
had
to
to,
us from a earlier
fix them.
age. So right now, like the recent lessons that we had were basically to destroy those bad habits. And
Yeah.
just
Okay.
And we actually learned how to breathe.
again. Yeah, no, it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also like, when we like took lessons, we didn't like actually put that much like emotion in what we were singing,
Yeah.
which we really need to do that right now because our songs, require that.
Yes.
So putting that.
Yeah, we wanted to know how to portray our emotion without losing a vocal
like,
technique.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
So yeah, we've been practicing
We've been
that a
working
lot.
on that.
Bravo, cool. Şimdi duygulardan bahsediyorsanız sizin ben bu kadar genç yaşta birinin şarkı söylerken inanılmaz bir yüz hatları değişiyor, inanılmaz agresifleşiyorsunuz. Bu ruh nereden geliyor? Bu ruhu nasıl geçti size?
Okay, it's different for all of us.
Yeah.
For me, it comes very naturally to do that with my face while I'm playing, because since I can't move around on the stage, I'm in the drums.
Yeah.
I usually have to portray a lot with my face so people can feel what I'm feeling, right? But for Danny, it was a whole other process.
Yes, especially since when we first started taking singing lessons, they told us like the more the face is like
Relax.
relaxed, the better it's to control your voice. So I was like, I knew that in my head, and I started singing like that at first, and I was like, okay, but now I have to move my face a lot.
Yeah.
How am I gonna do that? But then I practice it a lot, and now it's so much fun, and I really love, expressing what the song says and everything, and it's
Yeah, it's
very,
really fun
very
because you're
cool.
portraying like a whole character, and honestly, when we're practicing that, the mirror is our best friend. Like
Yeah,
we
we
just
have a mirror.
practice a lot in front of the mirror to see what people are actually seeing, and then we watch the videos
Yeah.
of ourselves. Like when we play live, so we can see what we can do better or what just like does not work. Like leave it behind. And yeah, it's just a work in progress.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still
Still.
Who's still like working on that, like
Yeah.
still like kind of getting there with expressions, but I'm getting
You're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Ses renkleriniz nedir? Yani soprano, mezzosoprano hangi ses renklerindesiniz?
Wow,
okay. I do not
we actually
know
don't
the
know
actual
the term.
I know that we high notes.
Yeah, I have the highest range
And the
the
lowest
lowest
range.
range.
Yeah.
I do not have either of them. I'm like kind of just like in the middle. I can't reach very high
But
notes.
she has like a lower voice.
Yeah, but my voice just sounds like naturally low
The-
and raspy when I
Can
sing.
you call it harmonics?
I do not know how to say it in English, honestly. But I do not know which like term we are, honestly.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
Never really know. I know that Danny can sing very high, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of them because I can reach lower notes than
Then-
Pau,
yeah.
but I can't reach
Higher
as high
notes.
notes as
as
high as Danny and as
Yeah.
low notes as you. So it's
But it's very cool that we
Yeah.
have all these different like ranges because it works really well
yeah,
when
and our
we're
voices
and,
sound
and our voices are very similar but different at the
Yeah.
same time. So we have like that kind of like that sister sound.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like our voices just sound very well when we sing
Yeah,
together.
when I sing, sometimes I sound like Danny, and sometimes I sound like Pau.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah,
it's
sometimes it's,
weird.
who is singing?
Yeah, it's
Like-
weird.
yeah, we have
Who is singing?
it makes cool sound.
Yeah.
Ya ben hepinizin seslerinin birbirinden ayrı olduğunu düşünüyorum ama onu söyleyeyim. Ben sizi dinlediğim zaman hepinizin farklı bir ses karakteri olduğunu düşündüm. İlerleyen zamanlarda bu bence çok daha belirgin olacak zaten. Gittikçe ses renkleriniz birbirinden tamamen ayrılmaya başlayacak.
Oh, okay.
Sormak istediğim bir şey var. Şimdi Meksika ile ilgili bizim Türkiye'de bilmediğimiz şeyler var. Meksika'da en yaygın olan müzik rock müzik mi? Yoksa başka hangi müzikler çok popüler? Neler dinleniyor? Size sormak istiyorum. Çünkü siz rock müzikle uğraşıyorsunuz. Bunun kaynağını nereden aldığınızın aslında başka bir sorusu da bu.
Okay.
Mexico in general is a very passionate music public, let's say.
Yes.
And their rock music, like Mexican rock music, does have a very big part in our culture.
Ooh.
Sure, other type of music have a way bigger, let's
Like
say,
banda.
public. Like we have a lot of different styles, right? But rock music is still like
A thing,
like festivals, like our rock festivals are one of the biggest ones in Mexico. Like it's
In
one
Latin America.
yeah, in
Yes.
Latin America in general. But
But right now in youth, they listen to a lot of reggaeton, which is just like boom.
yeah, it's electronic, right? Let's say
Reggaeton,
that's
yeah.
the one everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's like the very predominant thing, right?
Here in Mexico.
But still, there are a lot of people who do listen
Like,
and
like-
music.
like people who like rock in Mexico are like very passionate
Very,
about it.
like,
very
that's the
passionate.
thing.
Yeah.
There, maybe it's not the hugest crowd. There are a lot of
Yeah.
people, obviously,
Yeah.
but that public is very
Yeah.
passionate about
Very-
it. Like they're very
Especially-
intense.
But still, it's especially in men.
Not
many-
much in women.
yeah,
Yeah.
Not many
But
But like
there's still a public for it. There's still a demand for it. So
Yeah.
So that's
it's not that bad of a situation right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Türkiye ile ilgili bildiğiniz bir şeyler var mı?
No, actually, yes.
at all.
We're curious to hear.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was very intrigued. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm
Yes.
from Turkey, and I was like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, like of
That's
course we know
great.
it exists, right?
Of
But
course, yeah.
culturally and stuff like that, no,
Yes,
not that
no.
much.
Bir gün buraya gelmek isterseniz belki bir Avrupa turnesi, bir dünya turneniz olur ileride. Mutlaka Türkiye'yi yazın. Sizi burada görmek çok isteriz ve burada ağırlamak, gezdirmek çok isteriz.
We can receive you guys. We can take you some nice places.
Kesinlikle, kesinlikle. Burada
Definitely.
Europe, and we would love to go.
go,
Honestly.
Yes.
And Turkey, okay, it's now
Yeah,
almost at the top of the
yes.
list.
thank you so much. Sorulara devam ediyorum. Kimleri dinliyorsunuz? İlk müziğe başladığınızdan beri en çok sizi etkileyen kimler?
Okay, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Man.
Since we always were in this very musical environment, we used to watch a lot of concerts, like
Yeah.
DVDs, with our family, right? And the ones that we watched the most was Pink Floyd,
Yeah.
Like
Elton John.
AC/DC, Elton John, Queen, Billy Joel. We also
Muse.
Muse also.
Yes. So those are like our main.
influences. Yeah, those were a very big inspiration.
We love Muse because they're a trio
There was
too.
a power trio, so that's really fun.
So yes, we love them.
Yeah, but always like the music that we listened to was always very varied because at the same time we were also like kids, so we
Yeah,
also listened
so-
to pop music, but we also
Yeah.
listened to a lot of like classical music.
Yeah.
So it's just a very big range of
Big
stuff that we
range.
listen to. I think that every single thing that we have ever listened
Yeah.
to really kind of influenced
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
its own.
And right now we do listen to a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
influences our music right now, like J-rock, Japanese rock,
We
Oh.
listen to a lot of
and,
Yeah,
Okay.
good.
and we watch a lot of anime too.
So,
because
so it's a nice
Yeah.
constantly.
yeah,
and
so
yeah.
we are constantly listening to different stuff.
Yeah, and you
So-
see that rock, like just like that genre,
Mhm.
changes a lot on its culture and depending where it's from. So it's very interesting to see like the different types
Yeah.
of rock that there are.
Yeah.
throughout the whole world.
Turkish rock now.
Ya. Aslında ben size ileriki zamanda Türkiye'deki ünlü rock şarkıcılarının birkaçının albümlerini önermek de istiyorum. Size göndereceğim.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
We will. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool.
Add the list.
Peki merak ettiğim şöyle bir şey var. Bundan sonra hedefleriniz nedir? Çok gençsiniz şu anda. İleriki yıllarda neler hayal ediyorsunuz?
Okay. I
Okay.
think that right now as a band that we really want to keep writing music
Yes.
and just like releasing it. Also play. Just like
Playing,
play
yeah.
everywhere that we can. That's honestly we just want to go around the whole world just playing and
Yes.
connecting with people through our music.
And one thing that we are very the one thing that we're very that we want to keep forever is making our music our own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now we're an independent band because there have been labels that got to us and like wanted to sign us and stuff like that, but they always wanted to change something.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you write pop, or why don't you like dress
Dress
this way, or-
this
yeah.
way?
Yeah, so it's very it has been a journey of like staying true to ourselves and what we want to do as musicians. Because at the end of the day, it's our art, it's our craft, it's what we want to
And
share.
it's not a very easy thing to do because you get this offer and you're like, it's
like,
great,
it could
like,
be life changing.
but if it's not our like
yeah,
our
we feel
song,
that if it's not your art, your craft, like at the end, you're not really going to enjoy what you're doing because
Yeah.
it's not what you wanted to do.
You don't
It's not
like
your
what
music.
you're playing, like
I'm
you're
not
not
doing
doing
pop
pop or
Yeah.
No.
Like, what's
like,
the point in
why are
that?
you doing it?
Yeah.
Why?
Yes.
Okay.
So as long as we stay like that,
Yeah.
wherever life takes us, we will be
We just
happy.
want to
Happy.
keep playing and keep writing.
Yeah.
Bence şöyle bir özelliğiniz var. Bu bence çok kıymetli bir şey. O kadar genç yaşta o kadar güzel bir performans sergiliyorsunuz ki birçok kişiye ilham oluyorsunuz. Birçok kişi sizin gibi, birçok genç kız sizin gibi çalmak istiyor. Bu Türkiye'de de bence eminim böyle olacak. Ben sizin henüz bir videonuzu yapmadım ama kendim bir çekmedim. Bu hafta, yarın bir video yapacağım sizler için. Özel bir video yapacağım. Orada da eminim izleyen birçok genç insan da sizden ilham almak isteyecek. Onlara ne söylemek istersiniz?
Thank you so much. Sometimes we don't realize that when people our age or younger than us like see us, they like get
up to it,
inspired.
yeah.
Yes, like
It's like-
we look up to other bands. It's very amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of like
Love
shocking,
it.
like,
Yeah.
whoa, what I'm actually doing is like inspiring other people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
always like
Yeah.
when there's kids in your audience,
It's like
we do get kids in the audience, and it's like, I want that kid to leave there today thinking, I want to play the drums, I want to play the guitar, I want to play the bass.
Or like
I want to do
music is
something,
amazing.
you know?
You know.
So yeah, it's very
very
inspiring
cool.
to just like hear that we inspire other people.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah,
And it's very
it's
good to hear because all the hard work that we
It's all-
put
it's motivational.
on this, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
very
motivational.
motivational for us to keep
Keep
going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Çok teşekkür ediyorum sizlere. Gerçekten çok mutlu oldum tanıştığıma. İnanılmaz güzel bir enerjiniz var ve bir gün inşallah burada Türkiye'de sizlerle beraber bir konserden önce veya sonra sizlerle tekrar sohbet etmeyi çok istiyorum.
Concert it would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be
And,
Yeah.
by the way, if you're ever in Mexico, like,
Yeah.
mi casa es tu casa, like,
That's amazing.
yeah, and thank you so much too. Like, this has been great, and it was very nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our first interview from Turkey, so
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for everything. Çok teşekkür ediyorum. İnşallah tekrar görüşmek üzere. Burada olduğunuz için de ayrıca röportaj teklifimi kabul ettiğiniz için de çok teşekkür ederim tekrar.
Yeah, that'd be
Thank you
great.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Yeah.
Man,
Thank you
this
for
was a
us for the
great
interview.
interview.
Sizlere
Thank you.
was
sizlere
great. Thank
ömür
you.
boyu başarılar diliyorum tekrar.
Thank you.
You
Likewise. Thank you so
too.
much.
Yes.
Bye bye. See you
Thank
again.
you.
See you again.
Great.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Gracias.
Bye
Muchas
bye.
gracias.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Muchas gracias. Yeah.
Adios.
Bye bye.
Da da ba ba ba, da la ba ba ba ba, let's ba ba da na.